saying 2017, 2018, we were galactic travelers. 2019, galactic travelers. Now it's hidey ho neighbors. It is November 30th, 2024. And it's the day before the first new moon of Capricorn. So, first new moon of Capricorn. Now, I'm going to come on later on in this month, in December, with some research that I had to do way back in 2018 when all of us activated down here and we were starting to channel all this cosmic energy. And one of the first things that I had to be shown was the years over time counts where there were 2 new moons in December. On the time counts where there's 2 new moons in December, you can call it, well, number one, it's creation timelines. It's creation timelines and the calendar balancing up to a 13-month calendar system that they were really still running. I mean, it's several different machines running several different tech on different land around the world in different languages. Just realize that it wasn't just the speech language that became Babylonianized. It was the tech, and not just even like what you think of tech as coding tech, but the actual hardware tech that exists in your cities and in your grids, in what you'd call architecture, that is running like a machine. It also got Babylonianized. So it also at some point came to a point in your city, no matter how long your families lived there, no matter where you're from, it came a point where your people were no longer running your city. It was Babylonianized. It was being run by another language that didn't understand your language. 2 new moons in December is time traveler stuff. It's creation timelines, but it's been used as time traveler and timeline hijack is what it's been being used for, and what you'd consider any type of history that you know of inside this matrix. So this year it's being, the same thing is happening. We remember that all of us, to a certain point, because we remember we were always breaking the timelines and writing a new one at the same time. So we're using this time traveler window, but we're bringing in our connections, not connections from a different artificial reality, connections from what was written. We're bringing in, and that's part of your soul that you're getting back instead of it being taken away. So this new moon, this first one, and what we're going to start doing over here, and I'm just having to do this slow and easy and kind of even use the tools that I have right here, because this is even with Norma Jean and Tanja and the other, whoever else is coming in to partner up in different ways, we're going to start really focusing on the new moons and the full moons, and where the energy is for the collective. We're going to start really focusing on where the collective energies are, so that everyone understands under these star points and these energies working together what that creates. And so everyone's going to start getting involved, whether you've got your chart done or not. Okay, it doesn't matter. It helps and gives you more internal information. You'll know if you need to, but no matter what, the main thing that everyone wants to know is, how can we get involved? How can we help? How can we get involved? How can we help? This is how. Understanding what energies are at play right now and what that is affecting for the collective. So this new moon, which is going to happen at 1:21 a.m. So it's going to happen at 1:21 a.m., which is a 33. And this new moon is going to line up, Antares, it's going to be in an Antares lineup. It's going to be 9 degrees sun, because it'll be 9 by the time it gets over here. So 9 degrees sun, 9 degrees moon. Well, that is dead on Antares. Now, what's been interesting about this astronomy, number one, is that it really, you can't predict it. It will change, and we're going to talk about that. Because has anybody else heard about Mars going retrograde until I'm saying it right now? In December 6th? December 6th, Mars is going to go retrograde. Have you heard anybody speak of it? I'm just curious. I'm curious because I go through at different times. I've had to chart out the collective. I've had to chart all this out and look up retrograde planets. And I have looked a few times and charting this throughout 2024. And yesterday was the first time that I realized there was a Mars retrograde going down on December 6th. And I was like, what the hell? But we did call in all living word documents to change to our frequency. Exactly. Well, there's Mars retrograde on December 6th right now. It's now changed, because the astronomy will change. If that, the whole collective is inside a pressure cooker. This is a pressure cooker. This is a pressure cooker. When it hits certain degrees, it lifts, turns, rotates. This planet will slide this direction, then it'll release this planet. The planetary system works together in a unit to wield cosmic energy. That's why you're developing your etheric body. You're getting your cosmic energy body back on so that you can wield those energies. And the entire collective, I don't care who you are, you're getting it. You're getting it. You're getting a new upgraded body. However, Jupiter's still going retrograde, and we're going to talk about that because and so let's talk about where we're at. So this has been building up. The new moon started out in Libra. When the new moon happened in Libra, they were at 10 degrees. When it got to Scorpio, they were at 9 degrees. We're getting to Sagittarius. The new moon is going to hit 9 degrees, and then it's going to hit, because we got 2 new moons. It's basically finishing up what it does. December 30th, we're going to be finishing up what we're doing right now. Okay? Then when the Capricorn new moon comes out, it's going to be 8 to 9 degrees. Or actually, it might even end up at 10. Right now, it's slated the new moon is going to end up at 10 for the Capricorn new moon. Well, we've been building that up. So the collective and the entire collective, because most of y'all did not have your etheric bodies. That was the problem. Those of us who did have our etheric bodies, it felt like a jail. Or you've been fighting over it, or having to like energetically dominate anything that's tried to come into your field. So this has been building up, and it's going to continue to build up these until May. And until May, the entire collective of the human race is getting uncooked from a planetary system. Honk. In the process of uncooking from a 33 timeline to where nothing's moving, you're building up your collective etheric body in order to process these energies through your connections in your field and pulling other people out. Or they're getting more trapped. It's really up to them. It's really up to them, or they're getting more trapped. First, let's talk about this Antares energy. Antares energy is super duper militant. This is number 24. It's 7 to 11 degrees of Sagittarius. If you have Aldebaran, which is number 5, which is 7 to 11 degrees of Gemini, then listen to, because it's opposite. It's a straight ray. It's an archangel. It's Archangel Uriel. Uriel is all about being a commander on a mission. Uriel, if he appears in your reality, typically he appears as an African American man in a badass cool hat. If he appears in your reality, he's an archangel, but he's usually on a grid mission. He's usually leading grids, he's leading ships, he's leading grid workers. He's running a mission of some sort. He's always wearing a hat, and he likes really cool ones. And he's the most dirtiest talking archangel. Now, all of them are dirty talkers. They are. All of them are dirty talkers. First of all, with the archangels, at the end of days, everybody wants to think that the archangels are like this entity that's like this profound deity, and it's not. It's the archangels are completely fucking opposite. The archangels in this energy are the ones that are in your head when you see a really good looking guy and your brain goes, ooh, he's cute. The archangels in your head are the ones that are going, come on, girl, go slap that ass. That show, Michael, with John Travolta, where he's the cigarette smoking, alcohol drinking angel in the overalls, that's 100% freaking how it is. Because they don't have the body. They're literally were living vicariously through you. Now, that's fine if it's archangels. But whenever Zeta Reticuli comes in with Alpha Draconic and sets up a mutant angle, and then you've got mutant dirty fucks, okay, that aren't even tuned to it. They're tuned to a different mission. They're tuned to a different consciousness. It's not connected into your dead relatives. It's connected into your dead relatives on the dark side because they've been getting away with it so long building technology. Antares beings are the only ones, if you have number 24 energy in your chart, and you get to a point with ascension where you become Antarian. And what the Antarans karma, what they had to do was they never were unconscious. Antarians and anybody that came in with Antares energy. Now this is the only energy out of all 32. Antares never was unconscious. You never were put into a program. You never lost your memories. You always had them. If you came in the 60s, 50s, whenever, you were always 100% conscious and thought everyone else was stupid. Now, for an this is the energy of this new moon right now, and it's the setup, because this new moon is setting up the whole thing for the next month, and timelines and all the timeline weaving that we've been doing. Okay, so the reason that Antares beings could not go unconscious or in a program is because Antares would be World War II, World War I, all the experiments that were ever done to the human race, genocide, and because all Antares is a freaking ton of knowledge. It's a ton of knowledge, just like those archangels. It's not embodied knowledge. That you've got to embody it. That's the reason you didn't go unconscious. Because if y'all always remember what happened, in theory, it'll never happen again. In theory, it'll never happen again. The reason that Zeta, now this is coming in right now, the reason that the mutant degrees were even set off, because the mutant degrees were, if you've got Sagittarius to Gemini, and then the old archangel was Leo to Pisces, which don't even make sense. It's Leo to Virgo now, okay? Because it moved. So the other one was going Aries into Libra, because it was tapping in right here. And then it was going Pisces, which is number 32, to Virgo. So like galactic command. The reason that they set that up was because it didn't have conscious. It's like they had to set up that false X to get into the system in order to attempt genocide again. Because all the Antares beings are completely remember everything about it. You've always searched about it. You've been going and look it up. Hitler's been like this energy in your head. You've always gone to look up World War II. A bunch of the beings, if you have just Antares energy and you don't have any other star points, or you just have Antares and Pleiades, you are around some Nazi skinheads. It had manifested into your life. You were living it down here. But the whole timeline wouldn't be able to be repeated. That's what we're lining up right now. All timeline knowledge. Now, Antares, since we're talking about Antares, let me just read you what we've got, some of this information that's on, and just bear with me, y'all. This is a lot of information on this video. Antares, Royal Star, Archangel Uriel, its opposite number 5 Aldebaran, extreme knowledge and occult knowledge, because this is Sagittarius. So this is going to be Gnostic knowledge. This is going to be Gnostic knowledge that Gospels were formed off of, or military. It's military that's formed off occult. So it's going to be a alien army, or it's going to be a demon army, or it's going to be an angelic army, or it's going to be a Sumerian army, or it's going to be an Ophiuchian army, but it's going to be an army. It ain't going to be one person. If you've got one person, they're connected into an army. If they're getting the information, so is the army. If you have Antares energy, The army was getting every move that you were making. They were part of making your body codes. If you ended up in an Antares army, it's because your army got hijacked somewhere. Then that army made a bodysuit that took you over. Now realize that ended up happening to the entire human race. It's how we got cooked as sheep. It's how they got cooked. It's how we got cooked as pigs. This is the Russian stuff that's been going down is all about what I'm talking about right now. And it blew my mind whenever the India people were laughing at me when I first activated and told them there was no way a human could hold animal codes. And they fucking laughed at me every time I said it, because in the true Gnostic, it shouldn't be able to do it. But it is what was being done. Remember, this top half of the wheel, the collective was not running and has not run for hundreds of thousands of years. Now, the problem with this energy, okay, let me keep going. World War II, World War III, caused from the knowledge. Okay, so this is like this is occult, cosmic, and also long cycles of time and creation counts. Okay, here's the tip. Get out of your head. Learn to read intuition, develop your body consciousness. You can't do it with your brain. You can't outthink them. It's impossible. In fact, they're counting on you to outthink them, to tell them how to get to you. If you don't create a way, think about it. When you go into panic, okay, somebody just followed you home. Oh my God, just follow me now, y'all. Somebody just followed you home. Somebody followed you home. Somebody followed you home. You saw them. They parked down the street. You run in the house. Nobody's home. What do? You immediately start thinking and picturing in your mind, how are they going to get into the house? Oh shit, that door latch is broken. I locked the door, but the door latch is broken. I've got to go rig it. Okay, wait a minute. I left the front window open. I've got to run upstairs and go lock that front window. Okay, you just told them exactly how to get in your house by picturing it. Now, it took us some years to get this. It took us some years to understand this. So realize that as a collective, this past 7 years that was fighting this battle in this war, this is what we finally this is where we finally got, okay? That's why when you go into trauma or fear in your physical body, you start creating a way in your mind how to get out of it. You're giving them a plan. They can't even think without you. Now, the problem with this energy, if you have Antares energy in your natal, is that you've never been unconscious. Okay, that's good and bad. The bad news is you have a really hard time manifesting because you have no compassion, because you never were taken unconscious. So you have no idea what it's like to be unconscious. To you, it's a foreign thing, and it's something wrong with the other person if they're not fully conscious. In your mind, and it's normal and it's natural, in your mind, you're like, you have a calcified pineal gland. You need to clean the toxins out of your body. You're smoking cigarettes. Why are you smoking that vape? What? That's why you're unconscious. and I'm here all alone, and nobody's with me, and I'm so sick of these stupid fucking humans. I can't even handle it anymore. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Why can't y'all see? You see what I'm saying? Okay, and I get it. That energy, that's this new moon energy. This is the energy that we're in right now. This is the energy that the collective is in right now. Okay, now here's what we have to remember. And here's what you don't know if you've always been in Antares beings. Gemini is set up on nothing but an unconscious program. And if anybody has Gemini and is in their chart, has any of these Orion 5 placements, they were completely cut off, and it was impossible for them to receive the signal that you were sending the whole time. Not only that, it was hijacked and sent this direction and this direction over time. So then it became a 3-legged dog running some weird race, and it became a quadra-tripod. We were talking about the quadra-tripod yesterday. It became a 4-toed, 3-legged reptilian. 4-toed, 3-legged. Picture that. How is it going to run? Exactly. How is a dinosaur with 3 legs going to run? Okay. That's you don't realize. So accidentally what you end up doing is putting all that judgment around you, and you end up isolating yourself, and and to an extent it's like even what I've been doing over here. And some of it is warranted and some of it's not. It's just be careful with your compassion, and and just look at them as children. They're coming with you. You've got to keep building, and you can't look back. Now, that's that Antares energy. That's number 24. It's really in depth. It goes all the way, it's the only degree in Sagittarius that's not connected to Ophiuchus. It's getting its information from Ophiuchus. If I was going to draw this out, and remember this wasn't moving, Ophiuchus would be way up here and be the entire element of space that surrounds an orb. Not the Milky Way, way further out. Way further out. Now, Mercury went retrograde on number 25. Number 25 is number 25 is Ophiuchus 1. It's the Pharaoh, and it's basically Egypt. The mines, Peru, every single pyramid that was built down here whether it's underwater now or it's over water now, if any monolith that the ancients ever built, I don't care what tribe, I don't care if it's a building in Japan now, if it was built on this land in order to harness cosmic creation energy, it's like Disneyland. It's like Disneyland. The whole world is a big Disneyland park that's run off this energy. This is where all the pyramid systems line up to Ophiuchus to get that ray here to bring in the 1,000 years peace. Because what Ophiuchus is, see, and this is the difference between this one and Ophiuchus and Antares. Antares is running a military group from Ophiuchus knowledge. But Antares isn't Ophiuchus. So Antares is going to have a different perspective than Ophiuchus because it's two different sets of physics. It's going to be opposite. It's things like insurance hurt you. Medical and doctors are your enemy. It's going to be completely opposite. So Antares is like a delivery system. You can think of Antares as a delivery system. Right now, and Mercury went retrograde on this lineup. So the entire cosmos and when we're talking about the Egyptian pyramids in the tombs, they go to Rigel. Those gates inside the tombs go to Rigel, which is right over here, which Jupiter is damn near close to. Damn near close to. We're going to go through Rigel before we get into number 6, Ra. We're in Bellatrix right now. And then it goes to Sirius, which is Cancer, right here. And then they put in another gate to Zeta right here. Well, we're utilizing that. We took it over. We're utilizing it. It's like basically all the ones that are getting blown out of the matrix without an etheric body are getting thrown into an orb over here. And this orb with all the etheric bodies, they're starting to work together and connect to and creating their etheric body so that by the time all this gets over here, you're ready to jump in and jump down. So we're basically have taken over their port and we're utilizing it to do the opposite of what they used it for. You used to come in this port and then your etheric body would be taken off of you and then you'd be stuck in space. Now what's happening is it's being used to put your etheric body back together so that you can step back into the wheel in order to finally have a life, not stuck in a cycle to where you can't. Mercury went retrograde, which is your mind, in order to tune you into an entire collective mindset and etheric body that's working under one cosmic system that includes every single one of your deities and every single one of your demigods and every single one of your whatever, Christian characters, Bible characters, whatever, throughout the entire history of anything that you'd call spiritual or any energy that was ever made by a human in a million-year bubble or anything that was made into a human later on and everything in between. And it's a bubble big enough to hold them all. It's not the static, electric, weird-ass mirror world that they created merges with ours and it runs parallel. It's what's happening right now because the entire collective's still getting uncooked out of it. And but the thing is, it's more like 5 Earths all merging together as one to make one giant Earth ball that includes 3 ice walls because we're coming out of flat Earth. It was a simulation. Cosmos is completely lined up. Above, below, to the east, to the west, to the northeast, to the northwest, to the southeast, to the southwest, all the way around you, 360 degrees. It's all lined up over a simulation. Now, how is that energy going to come through landline? The internet dial-up. Y'all remember when the internet? Venus is on the degree that Saturn and Pluto aligned in 2020 in Lyra 3. Now, this is the big one. Because wherever Venus is, it's creating your reality. Wherever Venus is, it's putting out the music notes. It's putting out the scales, not just a scale, the scales. What Venus does is lines up. If you think of it, you've got an electrical wires. If you've got an electrical fence down here in the matrix, and then you've got the etheric fencing that's put up here, what Venus does when you go on to get weighed is you're seeing, are your actions and have you handled your physical power for the collective the way you should? Then if that balances, then as you move through the wheel, it's still staying connected to everything that you've built in the lower systems with all the people that are connected in the matrix. And you're running them. You are. Just by your daily activities and the daily things that you're doing, because you are the ascended one. They're following your pattern. It's a new fresh slug trail. It's a new energy. Everywhere that you've moved across the world since you've been in that body, you have laid a slug trail to. And it's always existed and it's never left. You have your own yellow brick road that you've been, whether you were positioned there or it was your idea, same thing. Same thing. What Venus does is it's put out that scale. So it's the scales where the notes drop in. Okay? So it's 2, 4, 6, 8. Dun 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 dun. 2, 4, 6, 8. Dun 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 dun. Right? Okay, well that's Venus. That's Venus. Everything in the cosmos is moved by sound, color, and motion. Not alphabet. Not a key. Venus is sitting on Lyra 3. What's Lyra 3? 369. Monkey on my back, it feels just fine. Was that Cat Power? Cat Power has a song called 369. Well, if Venus is 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, but it's running on 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9, literally. Okay, let's talk about that. When that artificial world landed on us, they were using us to walk seams. Now, the collective is undoing 369 patterns right now. We're undoing 369 patterns. Let's really talk about what 369 is. Let's really talk about it. Step 1. What's step 1? Give me an example of step 1. Step 1 is you buy some land. You till the land. You buy the seeds. Step 2 is you plant the seeds. You've got to wait 6 months. Step 3 is the plants are growing. The plants are growing. Step 6 is now the fruit's starting to bud. Now all the plants are working in a unit. Now all the plants have a root system. They're running water in a root system. So now the water is getting up through the entire plantation, not one plant. It's running through the roots of the entire crop. Then that's creating fruit, which would be number 8. Step 8. Now step 9 is we're going to pick the fruit. Step 10 is we're going to go trade for it. I'm going to get money for it, or I'm trade it for a tractor. Step 11 is what are you going to do now? You've got the tractor. Are you going to replant? Are you going to do that same thing again? Are you going to go? Step 12 is going to lead you back to your step 3 in some way. Step 13 was being run by Ophiuchus, and there was a step 15 out here too that was being run to get you to 6, 3, 6, 9, but it's a seam. I don't want to confuse you. So step 1 and step 2. Okay, another step one, step two, opening up a company, opening up a business, making first dollar. Getting a business started, opening up a car wash, opening up a da 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 da. These beings don't know how to do step one and step two. They only know how to make money out of money. That's why they want your money. They don't know how to make money. They only how to make money with your money. Am I correct? They only had to make something out of what you built. This is why the whole Mormon population, and the reason that they came after the pioneers, and basically that's what we are. We're techno pioneers, and I'm fixing to get into that. We're techno pioneers. The entire Generation X is techno pioneers. We're from the fucking future. Generation X has always been from the future. Generation X is your 100 that are sent in from Netflix, sent down to Earth in order to see if it was inhabitable. Generation X was 1942 clones built in the future, sent back in here to save your ass. The reason that they wanted the South, the reason that they wanted the Mormons, the reason because everyone in our family lines, that's all they did is open car lots. They opened car lots. They opened businesses. They opened fast food chains that now are owned by corporations, and everybody knows. Whataburger, and Sonic, that started in Texas. Whataburger and Sonic, that started in Texas. In fact, I know the first Whataburger, I mean, that was the girls in the skates and all that. That happened in Texas, actually in Bryan. That's why originally they were coming for that line, our Mormon line, because we were pioneers. We're MacGyvers from a next level. We know how to do shit with twigs and branches and twisty ties that defy knowledge. We know how to do step one and step two. Now, this really becomes an issue if you only end in step 9. So you jump in step 3, so think about it. All of y'all that are like me, every single time you created something, what happened? They stole it. And I'm even talking your children. Every single time you created something, it ended up getting stolen from you. That's because these 369 characters came in and picked it up on 3, picked it up on 6 to try to get it to 9. PayPal, Elon Musk, his little fucking weird ass techno gang that came in and started PayPal, LinkedIn, Cash App, whatever the fuck, all of that was a 369 game. The reason none of them talk to each other in a single sign-on, because it's really universal code. All of those apps should be working together in a halo system that then you can control and enter in and out of the rings to, because I know what the organic tech and what the organic codes are. Those motherfuckers came in and did some 369 shit, which ended up 9 being the ignition, but never finished step 10, 11, and 12 to link it back into 13. That's why they all run independently. None of them talk to each other, and none of it works. Now they want you to come develop something else. How about no? No fucking way in hell. We aren't developing any more tech. We're not developing any more code. All you motherfuckers need to open up your pocketbooks, shake hands, sign over your companies to the collective, and we're rewriting your tech right now. I hope you saved your fucking money. Nothing ever finished. Nothing down here since the 1900s has ever gone to a step 10. Nothing. There has never been now here, Please hear what I'm telling you. There's never been a process down here done for the human collective that has started on step 1 and walked it all the way to step 13. Right now, as a collective, where the closest we are is step 8. We're about to enter step 9 in 2025. And what's going to happen in 2025 is all at once, every single processor that's supposed to go to 10 is going to hit it all at once. Nobody's going back to 3. All the timelines that were built from step 15 to step 13 and then hinge through 4 dimensions of space and time to connect it into the 6th dimension and the 3rd dimension in order to create something else that you can quantify and spin out as your own ain't gonna connect. It's gonna go to step 10. Then it's going to go to step 11. Then it's going to go to step 12. And it ain't a yearly thing. We as soon as step 10 goes on some of these processes, it's going to go up to 15 and freaking unwind the whole thing. Like, this is physics we've never seen before at play. We really don't know how it's going to affect it. We really have no idea. We've never ever had to change the DNA of the entire human race while it was running 3 different parallel timelines in 9 different time systems. This is what we're preparing for right now. This is what we're preparing for right now as a collective. Next year, these are going to start all going to 10. Now, what came out 2 days ago, and I put it on my TikTok, and I didn't do a bunch of explanation, but it's all around eugenics. Okay? This is all around eugenics. And when you understand the cosmic birthing process and you understand the masonry dimensions, then realize that the Masons and the groups that have been messing with the 11 dimensions of space-time between the 33 and the 44th dimension, or the 44th and the 55th dimension, that's 22 dimensions. That's the laws of Ma'at. If they've been existing in those parallels, they now become the energy of the parallel. If they're messing with Arcturus, and Arcturus was literally formed by ancients that in mummification, we didn't have any legs. We all chained ourselves together. We made a big circle in order to create your 9 dimensions, and we worked together, and that's what was processing that energy. Then to all the Masons and the aprons that had been involved with doing that, then your legs are being cut off. You're being sewn together to make what you destroyed. Does it mean that you're going to die in the dimension? No. That's the horrifying part. Nope. You're still down here. Did you steal a whole bunch of faces from people and try to become people that you're not? Nobody's going to be able to see your face. Did you tell a whole bunch of lies and use your voice and try to use a low frequency to set up a false story? Well, then you aren't going to be able to see. I mean, you're not, you're going to be able to see. You're going to be able to see. You got that story wrong. You're not going to be able to speak. You're not going to be allowed to put out a frequency that can distort shit. If you used your mouth in order to distort for purposes agreed, then you're going to lose your voice. Now, this is all lining up 1792 and 1972. This is when the ascended masters started coming back in, correct? Yep, 1972. Why? We had 6 planets in Libra. It was a hinge. The bridge came in 1972, y'all. The Rainbow Bridge has been here since 1972. Generation X is the Rainbow Bridge. Now we're going to start skipping 30 years backwards from 1972. You're going to get 1942. This is the year clones became legal. You're going to go 30 years back from that. You're going to get 1912, which is an 1111 count, which is going to get into in a minute. So that's 1912 is also 1111, which is 4 prime arrays. 1923 is when they did the Skull and Bones, 11 years later. Why was Skull and Bone done? To run this clone set. What was this? The lead clone. Made from an ascended group. If you want to call the lead clone an ascended master, because that's what they ended up making, okay, fine. You put back together an ascended master and you sent it here with everybody's recessive genes that had been backed up. It's a reason, this reason the Most High fucking had us here. Consciousness is God. This is Christ consciousness. Hello. We're here for creation. We've been here for creation. You should have been telling everybody, and they should have had 50 years to be able to prepare for it. But instead, what you did was make alternate clone batches and then vaccinate the world to match their clone batch so that you can run the world like a whole bunch of clones. We already did it. We already did it. It's already completed. It's how you've been able to get away with it. But Zeta Reticuli, what you ended up doing was activating and turning every single thing that exists in space connected into Christ consciousness. All these aliens that are landing on the planet going, we're looking for God. We heard God's here. Yeah. No shit. If you happen to see an alien ship, if you're the one who sees it, that's because a part of you was in that consciousness. If a whole town sees it, the whole town the land was being dimensionally messed with. You're going to go backwards. You're going to hit 1882. Well, this 1890 right here is the special one because it held all the connections for 30-year counts to 1920, 1950, 1980, 2010, and then the 2010 is 2001 in time travel world. So 1890 is where they started fixing it off by 2. So this is Y2K. This is 11001. They had to align the matrix human machine to a 0 count so that they could do Y2K, so they could make their own creation current from 0, not from 2. Well, 2 is your organic matter. 2 is what connects you into the stars, the planets, the water, the trees, the dirt, the animals, your children. Your children. Something developed on 0, that's completely fucking hybridized, and who fucking cares? Just mix the frogs with the apes and let's see what we get. Let's mix them with goats. I know. Let's mix them with goats. Let's mix them with sheep. You ever seen a goat with people and how they interact? And then put a sandwich in a person's hand and put it in front of a goat. Totally different. Totally different. The food changes everything. So your 1972 and your and the beings and everything that is wrapped up since 1792 came into a clone set all connected into 1942. 30 years from that, 2002, which is also 2020. 30 years from that, 2032, which is when I know this organic sequence is going to end. We've still got until 2032 until this processor is completely stopped terraforming our land and everything else. Now, this is where Generation X is from. This 1942 clone batch was from 1792 energetics existing in these timelines. 2062, 2092, 2122, that's at 90 years. So when we're talking about 369, realize you're talking about a 90-year cycle. Not 9. You're talking about a 90-year cycle to change 900 years. Quick. Because it ends up changing 9,000, 9 million, 9 billion. And that's as far as we're going, because it ain't going over 1 trillion right now. Because this is we're existing in a trillion years worth of energy right now. Okay, so now notice right here, 2182. When you enter the 2000 counts and you hold a seed like Generation X, because if you're in Generation X, you hold a 2. Okay, you hold a 2 in the last. So any year that's going to have a 2, it's going to end up being 2112. So that equals 2. That's 332. Well, that one's a little bit more difficult. Hold on. Let's do 2. This is 3. Oh, it's difficult too. See, we're DNA quantum math. You've got here 292. 3 plus 6 is 9. 292. Well, 292 is 1111. Well, if you're a 2 seed and you hold a 2 count, then every 2000 year, every year that's in 2000 is going to equal a quantum DNA code. Because it's coming from 4. It's not coming from 2. It's coming backwards from 4 into 2. There were basically 4 was split by 2 in 1972, based on Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492. Now remember, all your 369 characters, they don't end with a 2. If they were made from 369, or they've been like Oprah, who's been here and Obama, who's never left, okay? They're on a 369 pattern. They're not on a 2 pattern. So their years are 3,000 counts, 6,000 counts, 9,000 counts. You following me? They can change those years because they have the power. They had the power of the 3. Well, not when Generation X took over step 1 and step 2 and changed 3. Changed 3 and a 369 had become the 12th step, which then created another 3. Nothing connected back into itself. This is why nobody knows that they're connected to the stars. This is why astrophysicists are still wrong. This is why everyone that's looking up in space thinks it's happening out there. No, that's your body. Everything that's blowing off that sun is blowing off inside your fucking body. That alignment is happening on your L4, L5 spine. You're being uncoiled from your lower root chakras. from a simulation that you call Earth or your city or your town or your county or your country or your COCO setting on a 369. Now we figured this out. All this came in, and I'm just going to show this real quick. Taurus is going to control 2 counts. Gemini had 3 counts. Sagittarius, it jumps to 12. You're dealing with 12 counts, making 2 6 counts. Cancer's set on 4 counts. Aries or Leo both set on 5 counts. Virgo set on 6 counts. Libra set on 7 counts. Scorpio is 8 minus 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Because Scorpio would basically be the math that you can maneuver, the mathematics tables that you can throw numbers in, would be another example of even Scorpio. Capricorn is going to give you that 13 because it was made from the 13 families. But that's the thing. Even the 13 families were only writing the 13th step, and then they were sending that through Sagittarius. Then it was going to 12. Then 12 was sending it in 2 6 currents, 2 Gemini, to hit a 3 count. You are in a wheel of time. It's a time matrix. This is why if you're just following astrology, you're going to get yourself caught up. You have to look at the astronomy. The astronomy's got your time capsules. The wheel's just telling you where it went down. The stars have all the information. The space has information. The movement of the stars has information. The energy, and right now, this is why the collective is on this right this very second. Pluto's at 13 minutes of Aquarius. So see, we're literally coming through everybody's screens. I mean, we're getting to the point where y'all might be, if y'all watch my YouTube videos on a big screen in your house, like, we're getting to the point where my projection is going to start looking like it's teleporting through. To give you an idea. Because all those pixels are formed, the pixels in the television pulling the DNA from you into the system. It's a harvesting system. It's a harvesting system built on Beltagese and Bellatrix. That's why they want you to call it Beetlejuice, because they don't want you to notice that it's got Bethel in it, because it's Bethlehem, and it's TELE. And anything that has telegram, telegraph, television, it's sucking it out of you to give you a image. The broadcast systems were running from Capricorn on 13. They're pushing their image, they're pushing their agenda, and so then the TV becomes an interface. Well, our codes are too strong. Your codes are, as they activate, are going to reach into the TV and pull out that character, if it's the right character. If it's a made character coming from the 13 being pushed through a alternate system, they're just going to fade away. Those characters, you're going to, on the news and shit, you're going to start being able to like see through them and shit. They're going to end up looking like ghosts. They're not even going to be, I mean, fuck a broke eye. Like they're not even, you're not going to be able to see them. They're going to become more molecular because your DNA isn't printing them from your house, watching your TV. So I just saw Jax. Hi, Jax. Even physically here, it's teleporting through the reality. What I am is showing me like a game and trying to play with me. I'm playing with myself, but I'm not giving anything to anything that ain't. And I've been writing. Exactly. Look, the collective, all of y'all have Toltec writing skills and Toltec matrix skills. You've been doing it. If you've been doing any type of time count, if you've been, and what you're doing, this is why you need to make a command. When you make a command to change, something in the matrix, or you create something in the matrix, you want to timestamp it and you want to date it, because that's the first nail in the infrastructure, because you're building it. When you start seeing that synchronicity, then it's starting to match up. That nail is matching up to an infrastructure in another dimension. When you start seeing your number showing up on TikTok and YouTube, tarot card readers and oracle readers and psychic readers, you start seeing your number showing up on their feeds, then that means it's hit the collective and everybody's putting in their nails. They're backing it. And each one of them has a nail to your infrastructure. So that's telling you it's being built. You got to keep writing it. They're going to try to come in and mimic and mirror it to match you on a 369 pattern. On the catalyst, when either the day you create it, or 3 days later, okay? 3 days after you do the timestamp, 3 days later, somebody pops up and then they want to show, and they always want to show you that they're doing the same exact thing that you're doing, supposedly. And then they want you to tell them all your secrets about whatever. Well, that gets tricky, because sometimes we tell them everything because we even know that they're not going to let us build it, and we know it's a time skip, so we want them to build it real quick. So we might tell them everything just so we can build it, because it's a link in the chain that we need. And then once we get to the other side, we break their chain and we're able to, because we're the ones who created it. We just gave it to them to create it. It's our creation. It's our original nails. We're running step 1 and 2. You just tried to drop your record. No, Dasha, no, Amber Heard template on a Kilgore Rangerettes. You lost your Rangerettes. No more scissor kicks in Texas to run the brains. No more scissor kicks in auditoriums. In fact, one of the reasons that I'm on this call today with y'all, and one of the reasons that I went to Texas A&M and College Station last week, is because the biggest football game in probably our history of college games is going down today in Texas A&M, Texas UT Austin versus Texas A&M, and it's been a rivalry that's existed within the military compounds, because it's a military rivalry. It's a time traveler rivalry. It's like the Nazis versus the Masonic Bushes. Like, literally, Texas Austin became like the Masonic Bushes. It became literally, and Texas A&M became the Nazis, and they were only 2 hours apart, and I mean they would steal planes in the 50s and drop fire bombs on each other's shit, steal each other's mascots, like all types of crazy shit from 2 hours distance. Caldwell's right in the middle. Anybody familiar with Caldwell Banking? Anybody notice that it's now called Coldwell? Well, yeah, that's a thing. That's why. So anyway, that game is going off in Bryan College Station. Those two were separated in different, they haven't played each other. And like, I don't even know. If somebody knows, let me know. They haven't played each other in at least at least 20 years, I would say, because they went into different conferences. Now they're back in the same conference. This game is going off today on November 30th on top of Kyle Field. And Kyle Field in that town is set up, and the whole fucking campus and every tradition that they still do the same way as they did in the military corps, and the way that they have the band march into the stadium, and the way that they have people follow them, and how they march into that motherfucker before the game was opening up portals to hell. The yell leaders were the men that were showing and doing yell leader sigil arm movements, which are basically the same thing as witch signals, like Taylor Swift and her little group and this stuff. Okay, that's it. That's the yell leaders are doing that's what those movements are. That's what connects into all the people in the stands. All the people in the stands start chanting the spell. I got to sing it. I command this, when this song is played at that stadium and this war hymn is played, that it undoes all 369 patterns and disconnects from space and works for the Ascended Collective and brings in the Ark. Every time this song is played today in Bryan College Station, chigger rump, rough stuff, tough stuff, Texas A&M, saw Varsity's horns off, saw Varsity's horns off, saw Varsity's horns off, short. Hey, Varsity's horns are sawed off, Varsity's horns are sawed off, Varsity's horns are sawed off, short. Hey, and every kiss that is laid ends the spell. I am shaking all over. Oh my God, y'all. Look. Woo! That's the Aggie war hymn. That's where I'm going to end it today. We've got Jupiter that's backing up on Bellatrix. I'm going to come on and talk about that. This is what's happening. It's backing up into raw consciousness this month. This is what's going to allow this reset of the beehive. Basically, right now, everybody's energetically set to whatever their energetic charge is. As Jupiter backs up and goes in this gully, you're going to have to prove it, or you're going to be moved to a lower rank until you connect it. And Mars is going to go retrograde. Right now, Mars is at, oh my God, right now. This is on number 12, a consciously unconscious lion. It's all the people are getting their etheric bodies back. You have a disconnection and a disassociation to anything that you feel is spirit, or anything that you feel like controls your world, that you have no control of it. It's a program. It was literally, a matrix was made to trap you in it so that you thought that you didn't and you couldn't. And you can't, and you won't. And Mars is going retrograde in this Leo count on December 6th and taking it all the way back to the Cub degrees, because this new connection that is coming through our auditoriums today as we line up for the winter equinox. Last year, today is whenever we set 7007. From last year to this year, we were cleaning the seventh dimension, putting it back together, the 7 counts. Now, this year, we're in 606. So last year was 7,007. This year, it's aligning 606. And that's why I call us pioneer, techno pioneers, because I mean, it's like, imagine techno Amish. You're going to have a ton of technos, a techno Appalachian mountain man. Your magic and your abilities are going to be based off simple things. Don't go complex with it. They make everything complex to make it think it's hard. It's not. It's not hard. It's the simple shit. That's what you're taking techno. Step 1 and step 2. Step 4, step 5. Step 7, step 8. Step 3, step 6, they're already there. Your ancestors are laid them. You don't need to worry about the catalyst. You just need to catch the wave. You just need to get it at 6. We're at 606. We're changing the first dimension at a 606 is a 3-dimensional number. 6 is on the first dimension, 0's on the second, 6 is on the third. 6 is flow. So that's flow, dimension, flow. Literally. 606 becomes a quantum 3. 6 plus 6 is added up to 12, and it goes inside the circle. 3 goes inside the circle. Both 6s jump inside the circle. They're making something inside the circle, not waves on the outside of the circle. 7,007, Google. GOOGL. 7,007, an angle, dimension, angle. Getting 2 eggs, getting 2 dimensions inside 2 angles to hold the charge so we could reach 606 in order to create a new one that holds it all. No matter where your chart is, no matter what energies you have, this is the energy that we're all in. This is where we are with creation right now. This is where the new timelines, the new earth that you think is already there. No, it's not. Pieces of it are. Pieces of it are. We're bridging it in. We're having to walk it. We're having to walk it over the next 3 to 4 months, because when Macy's Thanksgiving Parade came on, this shit started coming out. I don't channel timelines like this every day. I haven't done this in probably 2 or 3 years. This came out because Macy's was trying to twine it. It's what they'd always done before. It worked before. Why would they think it hadn't worked any difference? Remember, the more that they've tried to take our consciousness, the more unconscious they became. It's why they're so stupid in certain things. They have no common sense. They don't. But they're really good at techno fucking pioneering. What do you mean we got to get the foundation done first? What do you mean we need a business plan? No, we don't. You just buy all these companies, and then you sell all these stocks, and then you sell it to this person, and then this person sells the debt, and then you end up getting $2 billion and you're rich. Okay. Then what? I'm sad. I'm lonely. Oh, poor me. I have all this money and everybody only wants money from me. I don't have any value. I don't have any self-worth. God, why am I here on this planet? I don't understand. Why is everybody leaving me? because you have no self-worth, you have no self-value. You only see money. You only know how to make money with money, and money is human harvested energy. So why are you pissed off? You stole everybody's human harvested energy. Now you're all alone. Nobody wants to be around you because you've got all their energy and you've got all their money. And then you think, you see what I'm saying? You never did anything. What'd you do? You went and stole some shit. You went and took somebody's company that they spent 40 years building. You acted like it was fucking nothing. You came in and took all that, thought you could just take its place and just roll it out. I pull all H.P. Blavatsky coding from Taylor Swift and every single corporation that produced her. Yesterday, I ordered for every, which by the way, there was a ritual going on. It's going on tonight. It's going on tonight. It's a Saturn ritual in India. It's to Saturn, literally. I found this out because I showed myself and then we went going to look what rituals. It's a Saturn ritual. They started it last night and I ordered for all their pictures and all their houses and everywhere they were doing the ritual to turn upside down on the wall. I kept saying it over and over again. Turn upside down on the wall. Turn upside down on the wall. Let him, we're here. You're trying to conjure us. I'm just slapping you on your face, motherfucker. We're going to take everything off the tables. Everything that has a flat surface, you better make sure there's nothing breakable. Because if there's a flat surface, everything on the table is going to go flying tonight if y'all go trying to conjure. Now, what I was shown immediately after I did it is that Target released Taylor's new little fucking book, and everything in it is upside down. It's got Taylor Swift and pictures of her in all 7 different color options of her little outfit that she did on her Eras tour. So it looks like 7 little matching Taylor Swift Barbie doll drawings and 7 little colored outfits that are all matching but different colors. And then here's her 9 for this and here's her 10 for this. And all of you that are following this, you're literally following her into hell. You've wrapped your entire consciousness and creativity and your ascension into Taylor Swift. You think that Taylor Swift and her camp is actually coming up with this shit? You think that they're that brilliant? No! They're running a false ascension with your energy. They created a whole bunch of Kamala Harris's and Beyonce's. Are y'all liking and digging that? If you do, then go follow her underneath her little fucking plexiglass pond and dive in there back into Cancer with her. And you can go be in the abyss with her because that's what she wants. She just doesn't want to be in there alone. Evidently, she doesn't give a shit about everybody else that was with her that came in that she's connected to, no matter how it got built up, because she don't give a shit about any of us that actually she's getting her power from in order to convince all of you that she's on some ascension journey. But all you're really running is a Where's Waldo fake ascension journey that the CIA set up for you to get you to go to Target yesterday. Everybody else got the message. Hardly nobody at Walmart. Did you go to Target yesterday?